Okay, we are moving through January, aren't we? In fact, this is the last Sunday of it, January of 2021. We have been playing with the theme this month of life as a journey. And I just love the analogy of thinking of life as movement, of traveling somehow or other, whether it be a road, a train, whatever mode of transportation we have. And even like the analogy of life as a river. And so we're flowing with it. Sometimes we're just coasting down and we're just very easy type of existence. And sometimes, boy, we go through those turbulences where we feel like we're going down through the waterfall. And so I enjoy thinking of life as that. Also knowing that there are times when it can be very gentle, very pristine. And we've talked about in these past few weeks as to what we will pack. What are we going to take on this journey through life? And I think most of us are going to be in agreement that less is better. We talk about, getting rid of clutter, getting rid of stuff out there. And also not just physical things, but mental things, emotional things, that baggage, that clutter that doesn't support us, to let it go, to leave it be and not keep carrying that weight with us wherever we're going. So our topic this morning is called The Next Stop. And as I am preparing for this, I thought, what is the next stop? When we step off of this road we're traveling on this earth plane right now, what's it going to be like? Does anybody really ever know? And I know there are certain religions that teach you that this is the way it is. And if you don't believe that way, you're going to go to some fiery place and be there for eternity. And I don't choose to recommend that type of belief. We don't really espouse any type of belief, so to speak, in the hereafter, other than the fact that life is eternal. Life is infinite. It is ongoing. It is not going to stop when we lay down this earthly life. There's no way that it can do that. When you think about, just look around at the life that we see right here in front of us in our eyes. The plants, they start from a seed. They grow up through the ground. They have the stem, they have the stalk, they have the flower, they have the fruit, whatever it is. And then it dies off and it falls down to the ground. And what happens? It gets rejuvenated again. And so to me, that's just the same type of analogy that we have in our lives, that our lives are going through this moment in time. And it's not going to end. It's not going to stop. So I believe that we have been told by many sages, many mystics, that God, I don't know what you call that, infinite being that has established everything, is love. Unconditional love. It is infinite and it is everywhere present in full force. And that as we recognize it, and this is why I believe that Jesus Christ, who came to teach us, that as we begin to commune and have a relationship with this one beautiful, pristine entity that has made everything, that we can feel close to it, that we can become aware of the benefits of knowing that that is what I am. This I am is within each and every one of us in full force. When Jesus taught so many things about saying the I am, he wasn't talking about Jesus the man. He was talking about the I am existence that is, and it is within each and every one of us. And as I wrote in my thought for the week, when I was 10, I had one of my little classmates was hit by a car and killed. And the conversations around that, walking to school, Eva Hernandez was asking me, aren't you afraid to die? And I don't know why I came up with this thought. It could be that when I had polio at 5, perhaps I was close to death. I don't know. But I honestly just right away just said, no, I'm not afraid to die, because I know that wherever I was before was here, God took care of me, and that wherever I go after here, God's going to take care of me. And I guess it's a pretty elementary type of belief, but it's always satisfied me. It's always given me solace, and it's taken me a long time to recognize that God's always taking care of me right here and now, all the time, not just before and before I was here and after, but now, all the time. And to recognize that, yes, I, in this life experience, and I believe all of us can agree that we make mistakes. We make decisions that perhaps aren't the wisest at the time, but we are doing the best we can. And when we can look in hindsight and learn from our mistakes and not repeat them, then I think that that's how we grow, mature in spiritual maturity, and to let us recognize that that's what life is all about, is learning and growing and becoming and revealing more of what we are. And it's just not this one individual, it's all of us. All of our fellow travelers are in the same boat. We are all this pristine being doing the very best that we can at the moment to reveal what we are. And that's one of the challenging things, is that when we look at other people out there, and even ourselves, and we see that it's less than type of verbiage that they're doing or actions that they're taking, it's hard, very hard, not to judge critically. And ourselves included, primarily ourselves, because what we do within, that's what we're doing without. And so if we allow ourselves to be kind to ourselves, to be accepting of ourselves, how much easier is it for us to do that of others? I know that many of you are familiar with the quote from Paulo Coelho? No, that's not right. I had this down too. It's spelled Coelho. Does everybody know? But it's Coelho. The way it's said is Kueyu. Coelho. In any event, he wrote the novel The Alchemist. And when I say the quote, you're going to hear it. I mean, you're going to recognize it. We are travelers on a cosmic journey, stardust swirling and dancing in the eddies and whirlpools of infinity. Life is eternal. We have stopped for a moment to encounter each other, to meet, to love, to share. This is a precious moment, a little parenthesis in eternity. That's the nail on it, the little parentheses in eternity. That's where we're at right now. It's just this moment in time. Life is, yes, eternal. It's going to come and go. It's going to change form and all that stuff. But amazing, right here and right now, if we can just recognize how valuable, how blessed we are to have this day, to have this moment. So what are we going to do with it? It's up to us. We get to choose. How am I going to be this day? And I have to start with myself. And for me, I like to ask the question, how can I love right now? How can I love right now? I wanted to share with you the reading from today's daily word, which I thought was pretty poignant. The word is now. I find my power in this very moment. There is power in this very moment. Yesterday is past and tomorrow is not yet here. There is only this moment, ripe with promise and potential, ready for me to live into it fully. Through my many divine gifts, everything I need to get started is within me. I need not wait for the perfect moment to arrive, because there is no time more perfect than now, and no place more perfect than here. Procrastination has no part in my life. I fritter away my energy when I find reasons not to get started, losing my zeal and focus and inviting frustration into my life. Today I claim the power of the present and say, this is the day I begin. Now is the time to begin, to serve, to forgive, to create, and to love. See now is the acceptable time. See now is the day of salvations. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. This is the day we have to give of ourselves, to share, to be more, to express more of what we are, to recognize that I can be kind, especially to myself. I can be generous with my love to everyone. They don't have to deserve it, because I am unconditional love in expression. And we know that each and every person is going through whatever trial and tribulation they have within their lives that they don't share with us. We don't know. And so that we can just let go of judgment and let go of expectations that someone should be a certain way. Because God created us in its image, which is love and joy and peace and beauty. So letting go of the judgments is one of our prime factors, I think, in this earth plane, this thing that we call life. And I was thinking about a song that we sang when we had our choir here, when Lois Cowan was our director. And then I was able to sing it with a couple other people for my 70th birthday celebration. And I couldn't find all the lyrics to it, but I remember that it's called I Believe, and it's not the normal I Believe that you would come to mind. It's a different song than that. But I believe in kindness. I believe that everyone has value. I believe that love will win the day. Let's see if I can find my note, because I did write something down. Where are you, honey? I believe that I can change my world in powerful ways. In my heart and my mind, I believe. I believe that everyone has value. Come and join with me and believe that everyone has value. I believe in hope. I believe in kindness. I believe that love will win the day. I believe that I can change my world in powerful ways. In my heart, in my mind, I believe. I believe that everyone has value. Come and join with me and believe. There's a lot of things going on in life, and yes, there will be what we talk about as an afterlife. What will it be? As I've told many people time and time again, Lord knows, and He's not telling. Not till we get there. But there's no sense for me to feel in angst about it. Because I believe that as we elevate our consciousness to a higher level, we are more easily able to see and experience this love that is all around us. But it's up to us to elevate that consciousness. I want to tell you a story. It's once upon a time, there was a little pond. In the muddy water under the lily pads, there lived a little community of water beetles. They lived a simple and comfortable life in the pond with few disturbances and interruptions. Once in a while, sadness would come to the community when one of their fellow beetles would climb the stem of a lily pad and would never be seen again. They knew when this happened, their friend was dead, gone forever. Then one day, one little water beetle felt an irresistible urge to climb up the stem. However, he was determined that he would not leave forever. He would come back and tell his friends what he found at the top. When he reached the top and climbed out of the water onto the surface of the lily pad, he was so tired and the sun was so warm that he decided that he needed to take a little nap. As he slept, his body transformed. When he woke up, he was no longer a water beetle, but instead a beautiful blue-tailed dragonfly with broad wings and a slender body designed for flying. So he did. And as he soared high, he saw the beauty of a whole new world and a far superior way of life to what he had ever known even existed. Then he remembered his water beetle friends and how they were thinking by now that he must be dead. He wanted to go back and tell them and to explain to them that he was more alive than he had ever been before. His life had been fulfilled rather than ended. But his new body would not go down into the water. He could not get back to tell his friends the good news. Then he understood that their time would come when they too would know what he knew now. So he raised his wings and flew off into his joyous new life. I love that analogy because, again, we don't know what's waiting for us. All we know is that God is going to be there, and that we are being taken care of. I wanted to share with you the reading from Eileen Cady that I think sums up what I'm trying to say this morning in various ways. Raise your consciousness and realize you are ageless. You are as young as time, as old as eternity. As you live fully and gloriously in the ever-present now, you are always as young as the present. You are constantly being reborn in spirit and in truth. You cannot remain static in this spiritual life. There is always something new and exciting to learn and to do. Living in a state of expectancy keeps you ever alert and young. It is when the mind becomes old and dull that life loses all its sparkle and zest. When you fail to understand some new truth with the mind, sit still and raise your consciousness. Get into tune with the infinite universal mind and become one with it, one with me, and you will be able to understand all things. Keep your mind alert and you can never grow old. The fountain of youth is your consciousness. The joy of living is the elixir of life. We are here to live fully, boldly, freely, joyfully, and to see that for every one of the people that are traveling this path with us. This journey of life is a grand one. Let's enjoy it. Let's be aware that this divine life is flowing eternally through us, giving us more and more gifts than we can ever imagine. Think about yourself being that beautiful dragonfly and flying, being more than you'd ever expected to be. Live that life gloriously. Namaste.